right. All righty, folks. I'm like a smidgen. I'm a smidgen pigeon. I'm a smidge early. Yeah, I will be honest with you. I love doing these TikTok lives, but these evening ones, I was about to put on some lipstick or something, and then I was like, you know what? It's gonna be on for like an hour, and then I'm gonna have to go wipe it off. So, hello chapstick. Hello Luscious. Does anybody remember that commercial? This is my Gen X brain, I admit. So I said this to my husband the other day. I will be honest, I don't know if I was saying it to him, though I could say it to him, because I said something and I said, hello Luscious. And we literally had to Google where it was. He hadn't heard of it, but it's something that, like, when your brain has all these folders and files and you never know what's going to remind you of something that's in a file that's been hidden since, 1977, that's what the Gen X life is all about. I love it. I'm taking off my shoes because it's dark out and I don't think I'm going to go walking again after midnight. No, Patsy Cline, not even before midnight. It's only 7 p.m. So hey, I know I'm rambling here for a bit, but anyhow, hello. My name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach. Maybe you've met me. Maybe this is the first time. I see some familiar names. Nice to see folks coming in. I don't often do evening TikTok lives. That's because I am an early bird married to a night owl. Hello, Denise. Hey, Mommy Salami. Mommy Salami. And Bobby and Victoria and Jennifer and Chocolate and Gina. All the folks. But I realized that next week I am doing what I do often as I can, which is to go off the digital grid. Now, what does that mean? It just basically means that I'm going to be traveling, and I want to be in the moment when I'm traveling. And so I want to, I'm not going to coach. I will not be doing any TikTok lives, things like that there. That's why I'm showing up tonight, to help you. Hey, Joyfully Me and Annalisa, Pixel Pitbull, and Val. I'm here for you because today, is a week out from Thanksgiving for those who celebrate. But even so, I was talking to some clients today because I did coaching and consultations today. And I was saying how next week, looking down the road, if you're in the car right here, looking forward towards your destination and just looking at the week ahead, next week looks and feels different than other weeks. To me anyway. Does it to you? Pop it in the comments. Next week, hey, Princess of a King 7. Ironically, I'm working on getting rid of piles. You know what? Not even ironically. The universe has provided me to entertain you. Let me entertain you. I will entertain and inspire and encourage and do all those kind of co-pilot-y things so that while you are working at you getting rid of piles for the next hour or so, I'll be here with you. I'll keep you company. It'll make it fun, Yes, and Mommy Salami says it always has felt different. Next week feels different. I look ahead in the windshield of my car, and what I see is I see a Friday and a weekend. And then I see a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but boy, do things change. Thursday holiday, right? And then the Friday, it isn't a regular Friday. And then you've got a weekend. And then on the other side of that, well, I don't know about you, but it feels like that other week feels like a million miles away, as the Plim Souls. I almost said the Plimsouls would say. I almost said the Plimstones, meet the Plimstones. I crack myself up. There we go. Intraday Sun says, hello, future soon-to-be organized people. Yes. So just notice, okay? Be a human. Notice that different days are going to have different energies. You're going to have more energy one day, not. Some days you're going to have focus. Sometimes you're going to be all over the place. Honor where you're at and plan for that, not against it. Don't set yourself up with a robotic, rigid, every single day thing where, if you hit the feeder bar, you get your pellet. No. If you treat yourself like a human being, and this is what I do, is you're going to have a lot more fun. You're going to be on this road trip called life to your destination decluttered, driving at a pace that feels right to you. Now think about that. Who wants to be on a road trip, clutching the wheel, white knuckling it, eastbound and down because you're on trucker speed because you got to get there, and you're not stopping and you're not looking, you're not enjoying the ride. I say, F that. I say, slow down, you move too fast. It's time to feel groovy. Like my sister sent me the Liberace Feeling Groovy TikTok. And find a pace that feels right to you so you get the things you should do and have to do done. And you have time and energy for the things you want to do. This is how I roll. This is how I coach. This is how I organize my own life. I am getting such amazing, awesome stuff done, and it feels good when I'm doing it. So I'm here to help you with this, okay? So I'm here for the next 55 minutes. How this works, I'll just let it know, especially if there's new folks here. Again, I'll introduce myself. My name is Beth, Destination Decluttered. I am a decluttering life coach. I call my coaching Destination Decluttered because I love to travel, and I love to take the drama out of decluttering by just asking you to imagine like it is a road trip. When you're excited about where you want to go, you're going to do things you normally wouldn't if you were not excited about it. Ninja Auntie says, I'm feeling like a Flintstones grandma who drives his Jetson sports car. Well, I love those pop culture references. I don't exactly know what you mean, but you know what? We all have all of those generations inside us, okay? So what I will do for the next 55 minutes or so is I am here for you, and this is what's going to happen. Is if you are struggling with something clutter-wise before Thanksgiving, what you're struggling with, what's the roadblock ahead of you that's keeping your car from moving towards where you want to go, pop that in the comments. What I will do is when I read it, I will read it out loud because I download these TikTok lives after they're not live anymore and they're recorded. I upload them to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. And so people like you could listen to this and get inspired when I'm not live, and especially next week. Okay? And what I want to suggest is you have something that's keeping you stuck with your clutter. You do. And here, I'm going to plant a seed right away because I'm so about like the toolkit that I use because it's got like 3 things in it that I use over and over again. So I want to offer to you just planting the seed. Here's a seed. See if you want to plant it. That the thing that's stopping you from making the progress you want in the direction you want is a thought in your head. It's just some words in your head that is causing your nervous system to feel a feeling. And when your nervous system and your head are thinking the unhelpful thoughts, you're probably not moving forward. We can change that. On the other hand, on the flip side, we can change that. Okay? So let's get into this. Okay, so, new Prius, I get it. Okay, Coco Mom 299 says the kitchen. Could you be a little bit more specific? Too much stuff in the kitchen, clutter on the countertops, clutter in the drawers, sentimental items. One of the things I just mentioned right here, if you're taking notes, and feel free to, because this is what I do in coaching, 3 levels of clutter: surface, stored, sentimental. Kitchen usually has mostly surface and stored, some sentimental, not much. Like I know I have like a hand mixer that was my great aunt's. I swear, it's kind of like the one my mother had that she got as like a wedding gift or a house, but it still works, so I use it. Okay? Good evening, and thank you as always. So what I want to offer to you is everybody, think of the stuff in your home right now. Do this. Look around and say, what is surface clutter? What is stored clutter? What is sentimental clutter? I'll give you a hint. Surface clutter is going to be anything that is on a horizontal surface that is where it isn't supposed to be. It's not in its home if it has one, or if it doesn't have a home, you just haven't found a home for it yet. That is surface clutter. Usually it's just the stuff that builds up after the everyday living because we are humans, we are not robots, and we live in our homes and things accumulate. You know, I just spent the last couple of minutes washing some dishes, so my sleeves are a little bit wet. I had eaten some food. I tidied up a little bit because I want to walk into my kitchen and feel, look at this, nice clean surfaces. Start with your surface clutter and put things away intentionally. And if you haven't found a home for things, make a home for them that makes sense to you. If you went to go look for that item, where would you automatically think of going? This is your house, so you get to decide this. And notice that, okay? Surface clutter. Surface is horizontal. Just remember that. And this is the great thing, too. I will offer this to you. I have been told by many followers, by many of my one-on-one clients, by people on my mailing list, that the recorded Destination Declutters, TikTok lives, and the live ones are wonderful company. They keep you company when you do surface type clutter clearing. So how about this? Why don't you get a jump on next week's Thanksgiving, or even just a jump on so today on the other side of this TikTok you feel better about how your home looks. Carry me around with you. Listen to me, keeping you company as you just put away stuff on the surface for the next, 51 minutes? I can't even do math. At 8 o'clock Eastern, when I sign off and put on my pajamas, your home will look better. And when it looks better, it feels better. Okay? Mommy Slummy, I cherish a clean, clutter-free kitchen. Notice even then, notice my hand going, clean surfaces. Not stuff junking it up. It gives me peace of mind. And the funny thing is, they talk about that feeling of peace of mind. I love the peace here, but I also love the peace here. It looks nice and clean. I know where everything is. Love it. German Made 95 saying, I have an old hand mixer. It's the olive green color. Okay, that would be your late 60s, early 70s. You've got the avocado. You've got the Harvest Gold. You've got the Arctic White. And there was one other kind of meh color like that, huh? There was some of those, but I just remember the olive green and the Harvest Gold. Mine is a little bit earlier. I think mine is late 50s, early 60s because it's kind of a whitish color and it's got a nice little kind of aqua. Actually, no, it's funny. I don't know if this one has the aqua, like the on-off button on it. I have to check. That was the one my mother had, and I totally remember it as a kid. The one I got from my great aunt, I'll have to check on that. Okay. Copper. There you go. Yep. All those kind of earth tones to the limit. So surface clutter, start with that. That's the stuff that if you are having people over to your house, or even you, when it looks better to your eye and your brain aren't having to constantly categorize and sort and create images on the back of your brain about what things are. It gives your brain and your eyes a chance to rest by clearing off the clutter from the surfaces. Now, I will say this, and I know this because I am a decluttering life coach, and I used to be cluttered, and I grew up in a cluttered household for decades. My family is cluttered. They know it. Here's what I know is going to happen with some of you. So I'm telling you to expect this on your journey. You're going to say to me, yeah, Beth, that works if you have a place for these things. However, when I go to open up a drawer or a door to put something away, I have no space in my storage for the things on the surfaces. That's why they're on the surfaces. If that sounds familiar, give me a little high five in the comments so I know I'm, not talking about weird stuff that you've never heard of. Okay? What I want to suggest then, and I will suggest, even though I want to suggest, okay, thank you, Lauren Beth from New Jersey, the yes and the yes, okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure. The stuff is on the surfaces because your stored clutter, the next level down, is full. Now here's where you get to be Nancy Drew. It's a clue, Nancy Drew. This is what I would like you to think about. Again, this is me pretty much reading from my book, if I was to write one, of how to declutter, is stored clutter. Now here's the fun thing you probably wouldn't get if you were reading a book, maybe if I did the audio book, but stored clutter, the second level, remember this because of this rhyming, at least the way I pronounce it. Stored clutter is behind doors and drawers. And boy, do I have to overcome my Boston accent to not say drawers. Doors and drawers, stored clutter. So think about it. Kitchen, you've got your kitchen, what do you call them, drawers. You've got cabinets in the door, a door, you open up a door. Your bedroom, you've got a closet door. You've got a bureau drawer. Even probably in your bathroom, you've got like a vanity drawer. Any time that you have clutter that you can't see, but it still exists, that's stored clutter. So, okay, basement is totally stored clutter. Boxes and boxes. You can tell I'm tired because my accent is coming out. Notice that. Just notice that is what the deal is. And here's what I would love for you to get curious about. Get curious. Curiosity is going to open you up. Judgment is going to shut you down. So don't judge yourself about this. But when you open up even one drawer, can you picture yourself, or can you do it right now? Go into, let's say, your kitchen. Open up a kitchen drawer and notice the stuff that you use all the time. This is the stuff that I like to say is in circulation. So this is going to be, I'm picturing my silverware drawer. I open it up and I see a like a little tray, and I've got like big spoons, knives, small spoons, forks, and some miscellaneous things. Those are the things that I use and they get dirty, and then I wash them and I put them back, and then I use them, they're in circulation. On the periphery, though, of that drawer are some things that I use occasionally, but I don't use all that time. So like on the other side, I've got some knives that I don't use all the time, but sometimes some differently shaped spoons. What else? Some serving spoons, things like that. Notice that you have things that you don't use often, and then get curious about the things you don't even use at all. The reason you don't have space for the stuff you use often and all the time that's in circulation is because that real estate is being taken up by squatters. It's being taken up by, the place is being taken up by stuff you don't use that much or not at all. So notice that. Notice that when you go to put away something. Is there a drawer that, like, is there something on, feel free to put it in the comments. Is there something on a surface that you have that it's not where it should be or where you want it to be because there's something in the way in where you want to put it? Same thing with clothing. Maybe your clothes are stacked up on the top of your bureau. Maybe they're still in a, they're piled on the bed, they're piled on the floor, they're piled on a chair. Does anybody ever really sit in the chair in your bedroom? No, you always just throw your clothes on it. I literally had a chair in the corner of this room right here. It is not there right now because I realized all I was doing was like dumping stuff onto it. And I actually brought it someplace to go into an auction to see if I can make some money off of it. Okay, so user 1963 says, my kitchen drawers are the only neat drawers. Well, you know what's really cool about that? I will encourage you. I'm all about the encouraging, not the discouraging, but the encouraging. Here, have some courage. I want to give it to you. I don't want to take it away. Here, have some courage. I'm going to encourage you to say, if your kitchen drawers are neat, that means you know how to neaten a drawer. You can just copy and paste, lather, rinse, repeat that process into other drawers of your life. And this is what you do, basically. Okay, yes, Josephine is saying my rocking chair is full of clothing. Yes, you are not alone. We are all together in this. All together now. Think about this. Clutter is basically stuff in your home that you saw out in the world. You said, "Ooh, that might make my life better." You bring it into your home, into your life, and it sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. When you're hanging on to stuff that you don't use, that's what clutter is. Clutter is the stuff in your, clutter is the, I almost feel like I want to make like a fake Taylor Swift thing. Clutter is the something, something, something. I don't know her songs well enough. Okay, there you go. Martha is saying the stuff is on your bed on the footboard. Okay, because if you open up a drawer to your closet or the drawer on your bureau, I bet you have clothing in there that you do not wear. Maybe it's simply out of season. Maybe it got wicked cold where you are and suddenly you still have t-shirts and you really need to change, you need to make room for your winter clothes. Maybe they are clothes that you don't fit into anymore. Maybe you wear them, and it's the right season, but you have such a quantity, you have an overabundance of clothing. And so you're not wearing all that you have, you're just wearing the same ones over and over again. Okay, so notice that. And Lauren Beth, constantly making them neat and they're a mess again shortly afterwards. Habits. Okay, so just notice that. So notice the quality and quantity of your clothing. Notice too, kind of as I like to say when I'm coaching, imagine that you have a traffic signal in your body. You've got green light up here. Green means love, heart. Yes, I love that. Red is down near the poop chute. Red is what you don't need. And yellow is in between. Yellow in between, that's what we talk about when I'm your coach. When I do one-on-one coaching with people, I help you sort through the should I stay or should I go now? Should I speed up or slow down? Do I really want this or not? And basically, I will confide in you that it's as simple as there's a disconnect between your head and your heart. Your heart says one thing and your head says another, and there's kind of a tussle. They're wrestling there, and that's why you're feeling weird about stuff. Okay? Right. Okay, skinny again? Yeah, right. Yes, I mean, we all do it. Our bodies change. Our bodies changed from when we were 5 to when we were 15, 5 to 15, 15 to 35, 35 to 55. Your human body changes because you're not a robot. Now, I was on a coaching call this morning with somebody who was like, why is it that I eat less than everybody on my in my family and I still am gaining weight? It's because you're a human female. I'll speak for myself. I'm a human female who has gone through menopause. And yes, what goes on inside changes things. So I have clothing that I used to fit into for decades. I don't fit into anymore. What am I going to do about it? I'm going to have a conversation here and make a decision that feels right to me. Okay. Lauren Beth, okay, my kitchen drawers, they're all cleaned out and then maybe a month later filled in a mess. This is where you get curious. I wish I had like a little, what do you call that, magnifying glass, like the silhouette of Nancy Drew, like on the 1940s versions, 30s and 40s versions. Get curious how the stuff, what's in the drawers, how to get there. Is it in the drawer that the stuff is supposed to be in? Did you categorize your stuff? Or is it a junk drawer and a junk drawer and a junk drawer? Did you throw things in there because you were quickly clearing off surfaces because you couldn't stand the mess, or were you doing it with intention? Because here's what it is. Mainly, so much, you guys, is habits. And this, I meant to say this as freeing. Okay, it's categorized. Maybe you have too much of a quantity of things. If it's filled in a mess, do you have a way that it can be more organized? Like I have a little cheapo, plastic thing, a divider for my stuff. Do you have a way to divide the stuff, or is it all just kind of thrown in there? Do something so that you are able to keep it neater. Don't go too fussy about it, but make it so that the functionality of it. How do you want your home to feel? How do you want it to look? And how do you want it to function? If it's not functioning the way you want to, figure out what's bugging you about it and do something about it. Okay, there we go. Bobby Wyckoff is saying, I'm accomplishing organizing in one room at a time. It's the only way. That's how I recommend it. Baby steps, a little bit at a time. You rock, my beautiful heart friend. Thank you. You're welcome, BW. That's what I'm here for. I love it. I have fun doing this. Okay, there we go. Lauren Beth says it's all thrown in there. So who threw it in there? And I'm not blaming. I'm just having some fun. Notice if we were to rewind the tape, how did it get there? So you can learn how it got there and stop doing that and start doing something else. Just what was the word I was, kind of interrupt that habit and do something new. Yeah, just get organizers and make sure they fit. And then say, okay, kind of like I'm thinking of, I'm not too fussy. If it's behind doors and drawers and I can easily find the stuff, I don't like to get too uptight about it. I want to open the drawer, find the thing, use it, wash it, put it back, done, and then go live my life. Okay? Gigi is asking, should you organize one room at a time? A couple of things. I recommend that in many ways, but also there's different ways you can do it. So think about this. Firstly, if anybody, I haven't heard this, is overwhelmed, if you're feeling overwhelmed, notice I am not overwhelmed. I am feeling overwhelmed. I am not overwhelmed. I am, a human being, but I am not overwhelmed. So notice when you're feeling overwhelmed, you can chunk things down. And so I say this to Gigi when you say, should you organize one room at a time? This may work for some people, but I work with ADHD people who, as soon as you say you're stuck in one room, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, can't do it. Don't fence me in. So I offer this. If you work in one room, you are just going to see the results of your efforts so much quicker. So practice going into one room and doing a little bit at a time and allow yourself an escape. Set your timer and work in one room and then leave it. And then set your timer. Practice showing up and focusing. I know ADHD people, myself, my family included. It isn't the easiest thing, but you can improve on it. You can work with your brain. You can focus for a short amount of time and then leave and then focus. You're practicing your flexibility. You are allowing yourself to just get more flexible with those types of things. Organizing one room at a time takes away the overwhelm of the whole house because you're just focusing on one chunk of your home. And then also you will see the results much more powerfully. Think about it. If you do a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there, you're not going to get that before and after feeling. Okay? Notice that. All right? Yeah, hey, you know what? Yes, okay. User 1963, ADHD. We all have it. Every brain on the planet is different. That's what I say. No matter what acronym, no matter, A, B, C, D, whatever you have, whatever you think, There is a way that you can work with your brain and its natural tendencies, but you can also practice some things to have it be in better shape to get the results you want. Okay? So notice that. Fair Girl 17 is saying, any advice for helping my tween who has ADD organize? Yeah. Honor how her brain works and create systems. I know this sounds very kind of high level, but create systems that work with the natural tendencies, not against it. Don't fight against your brain, work with it. When you work with your brain and your heart and your hands, your head, heart, and hands are all in alignment, bam, you're doing some really cool stuff. If you're not like that right now, that's okay. I didn't learn this for decades. I'm still learning. Every year I become a better coach. Even this year, I was just saying to myself today, hey self, I am so much more of a better coach than I was even 6 months to a year ago. And I will continue to do that and offer this up to you. So what I would say to your tween, just notice where the things don't work, where you don't get the results you want. Don't be judgy, be curious. Don't be mean, don't be judgy, don't berate. Come from a place of love and curiosity and openness and wanting to get to your destination decluttered. Yeah. Okay. So this is interesting. So Dear Mama says no storage at my house. And then User 1963 says moved south, no attics or basement. Seriously? Seriously, people? What do you people do with all your Christmas stuff? Maybe there's closets. That's when you get creative. This is when it actually turns into like a math problem. Saying, I have this stuff and I've got these few places where I can store things. Where can I store them? Okay. That's when you get creative about it. And this is when one-on-one coaching works. So we could, kind of drill down specifically as to where do you have storage, where don't you have storage? What do you actually really need to store? I will say this, my house is a small house, but because it's a ranch, it has a huge basement because I live in the Northeast and we have basements. Actually, I don't have much of an attic because we have a low ceiling. And I don't leave, oh my gosh, I have decluttered our basement and I'm doing it a little bit at a time. It's taken years, but a little bit at a time. And for months I won't look at it and then I'll do a little bit. We have so much space, I don't even need it. And I have no interest in filling it up with stuff again. Okay? Dear Mama is saying it is frustrating. I feel frustrated. It is frustrating not being able to organize my stuff. And then there is my children's stuff. Ask yourself why I don't feel able to organize it. And then notice if you can't organize your stuff, it's going to be hard to instruct your children on how to organize their things. The sheer volume of things can be overwhelming. Chunk it down. Get curious about your stuff. Why? What are the thoughts? And as I said, there's a thought behind why you're not doing it. The thought that makes you feel a feeling that's getting you stuck. And, even this is hard. I have no storage. Okay, you don't have any storage. What are you going to do about it? Let's do it. Okay. Okay. Inspired says, I unpacked the storage to prep for a move and I have shit everywhere. Yes. Okay. Yeah. You know what you've hit on the road trip? I keep on thinking almost like, did you ever play Candyland where you have like a little thing and you go and you do move the cars, or even the Game of Life? Any of those, roll your dice, move your mice type of things, is you are now at the part of the journey called it's going to look temporarily worse before it looks permanently better. Okay? It's going to look and feel temporarily worse before it looks and feels permanently better. So just know, everybody, this is a process. There are things you will go through with every single process in your life to get from point A to point B, where it's going to look and feel worse temporarily before it looks and feels better permanently. So just know of that and say, what can I do to get out of this? And what you do is you go back to where it looks worse, you chunk it down, and you start to put things away. You don't abandon it because you're overwhelmed. You overcome the overwhelm, and then you chunk it down, and you go back and do it. Okay? Marissa is asking, have you ever heard of having too much clutter being related to trauma in one's life? Hell to the yes. I have. That is why I am not a trained mental health professional, but that's okay. I am a certified life coach, and this is how I approach it. And that's why when you are interested in working with me, we always do a free one-on-one consultation, which is just basically a chat between you and me. Sounds a lot more fancy than it is. Chat between you and me on Zoom. It takes about an hour. But the goal of seeing if what you're struggling with is something that my coaching can help you with. And if it does, then I tell you about the price. We work on it. We get you on the calendar. It's great. You're going to love it, as my husband and I like to say. But There are people out there, you've seen them on TV, they call them hoarders, that there is trauma involved in when you hang on to stuff and it becomes detrimental to your health. So just notice that. And yes, completely. And what I recommend to people that get in touch with me like that, with love and compassion for folks who are struggling, I say, get the help that's going to help you the best. So if you or anybody you know is a hoarder that is recovering from trauma or is in trauma and is in the byproduct of this is too much stuff that is not being healthy for them, mental health professionals are trained. Find somebody who can help you with that, because the good news is hoarding is an official diagnosis in the DSM-5. This means that there are trained people out there who know how to help people walk through that journey. I am not one of them. Can I help people from a wide range of, I got to get my act together with clutter, but I know my outer limit right now, and I also know that it doesn't serve other people when I would, I don't want to pretend I can help you if I know for a stone cold fact that they will get to where they want to go to so much more quickly if they get into therapy. Okay, so yes. Dear Mom was saying, I'm trying to downsize because I'm not getting any younger. No, none of us are. So enjoy the time you have now. Create the life you want ASAP, people. To me, there's such an urgency with it, because the sooner you start, the sooner you get there, and the sooner you're just enjoying your life. Why do you get curious, everybody. Get curious about why you're postponing doing the things that are going to change your life into something that looks and feels and functions like you want it to. Okay, so this is kind of odd. I will ask you this. Dear Mama says, I have an exact outfit that my mom was buried in. Makes me sad, but I feel that I should save it. Okay, this begs the question, if she was buried in it, how did you get her outfit? Now, I'm kind of hoping that I'm just misreading this, but notice what you've done is, everybody, we have just hit the third level of clutter. Remember, we talked about surface and then we talked about stored. This, my friend, is sentimental clutter. This is an item that is not just this pantsuit you bought at Zayre's. This is the piece of clothing that tells you a story, and the story makes you feel a feeling. There we go. Okay. Now, Trisha Eckhart says, we call ourselves level 1 hoarders. 3 people in our house. We're all collectors and love holiday decorations. I come from a collector family. I do. My sister, my parents both collected stuff. My mom's still alive. She's still buying stuff. My sisters collected things. I collected things. I still probably do, but I'm so picky, happily picky now, that very few items come into my house unless they're of such a quality that delights me that I want to have them there. So notice that you can collect, and if it brings you joy, go for it. Only you get to decide the quality and quantity of the items in your home. If the quality and quantity of items in your home light you up, then go for it. Light you up like a Christmas tree in your holiday decor. I used to really enjoy Christmas decorating, but for a really long time I didn't. And I will say this, it's because I realized I had too much holiday decor and it felt more like a chore than a joy. And my husband, I was like, I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm working. I used to be in retail. I'm not in the Christmas spirit. I pretty much was like, I don't know why. I felt like I should talk to Linus. I don't know why. I'm just not in the Christmas spirit. Here's why, Charlie Brown. You have too much stuff. I decreased the amount of items that I had so I didn't feel obligated to decorate and go whole hog. I have a few lovely items that I put out that delight me. I was able to gift a lot of my really cool vintage Christmas stuff to my sister, who also still loves it. So notice those things. You get to decide. How empowering, again, encourage to realize you can do something about how your home looks and feels and functions, and make it more like you want it and less like you don't. Yeah, Sandy caught the pop culture reference. Zayre's. Before you go back to school, go to Zayre's and compare. Gosh. Gen X people, I love it. Okay. Oh, well, there you go. It's the Halloween stuff for us, especially when the stuff goes 50 to 90% off. Yeah, being mindful about the things you love and when they go on sale. I was tempted. I mean, here's a silly thing. I went to the Container Store recently because I had to buy something specific because I was helping my husband organize his studio closet. He's a musician, so he has a bunch of wires and pedals and all this kind of stuff. And I got on their mailing list by accident, and I was like, oh, there's a coupon. What do I need? And I was like, I don't need a damn thing, but I was tempted to go in and buy something at 15% off. We're all humans, okay? This is what we do, especially in a capitalist society where we have been encouraged to express ourselves and to show what we love and to entertain ourselves, all the things, by buying things. And sometimes that works, but it works until it doesn't. And when it works, it means that you've gotten to the right sweet spot. But when it doesn't, is when you've got too much and you feel like you're drowning in it, that it's like you're above your head, okay? There we go. Dear Mama is saying, I am not in sales anymore and I am hanging on to old suits. Notice this, working virtually now and don't need them. Okay, here's what I want to offer again. Dear Mama, you, me, everybody else, we have all just been through in the last 5 years. 5 years, think about it. I don't even know how to tell the time anymore. 2019, hey, that looked pretty much like all the years before that. 2020, right? March of 2020, then 2021, maybe 2022. We're now at 2023. The past 5 years, boy, oh boy, RD, have we gone through a lot. We used to do things pre-COVID. Then we did things in COVID. Now we are post-COVID, and the world is different. And we may be not wearing the same things we did. We may not be entertaining like we used to. We may not be eating like we used to. We may not fit into the clothes that we fit into 5 years ago. But think about it and just get curious about that and say, do I want to go back to that, or am I happy what I'm doing now? Okay? Getting curious why you are hanging on to the old suits. I will venture a guess that it's because it tells you a story of who you used to be, and it feels a little bit symbolic. You know, I mean, we're humans and we feel feelings, so it may seem like you are giving away part of yourself if you give away a suit. Okay? Notice this. Mommy Salami says the world has changed forever. Change along with it. And I don't mean just change for change's sake, but evolve into the best version of yourself given how things are. Okay? Yes. Saucy Mary. Love it. Well, I started tackling my mom's stuff. Awesome. And it is a tackle a little bit at a time. That's the only way you do anything. That's the only way. So I love it. Can be 5 minutes, can be 30. Depends. Notice how it feels right to you. Saucy Mary, you're doing the right stuff. Rock on. Okay? Okay. Trisha says now a lot of places are returning to the office, but even if they're returning to the office, are people wearing what you used to wear? Okay. Being laid off after 22 years. Yeah, things are going to change in life. We always want things, not always. We always, I'm using a superlative, often. How's that? I'm going to tone it down. We have this erroneous thought that life is steady and then it changes. Life is always changing. And the more that you can just be aware of that and recognize it and be flexible about it, the happier you're going to be, the less rigid you're going to be. Okay? Okay, I love this. Riri is saying, what if we keep extra things just in case? That boy, Justin is keeping a lot of people cluttered, right? Just in case. Justin Morgan had a horse. Just in case there's a rainy day. So if it's a rainy day, you're going to need an umbrella. You're going to need some galoshes. You're going to need a raincoat. Okay. Now I kid. I know the phrase. Get curious about the last time you actually needed something that you're keeping just in case. I love to do this is grab some painter's tape because it's easily removable and put the date on it. Last time I used this was this, or use this, or on the flip side, give yourself 6 months to use it. See if you actually use it. If you haven't used it in a while, get curious if you even need it. And what I want to offer to you is get a sense of belief that if you do give away that item, that you can borrow it from somebody if you need one. If you need one, you can find one in a thrift store. You can possibly even buy one again if you need it. Okay, but notice the fear behind the thought. I can't get rid of this. I might need it someday. Okay. User 1963, I can answer this one too. How come I can solve other people's dilemmas but more difficulty for my own? Because everybody, your stuff talks to you and you only. You're the only one who can hear the stories that every single item in your home talks to you. It tells you a story. and nobody else can hear it. That's why it's so much easier for you to deal with somebody else's stuff. Now, the cool thing is with me, I'm kind of like the stuff whisperer. So I can pretty much guess some of the things that they might be telling you. So I can kind of hear it. And I'm used to speaking with these things. Oh my God, I sound like I'm, at a Ouija board or something. But I know what it's like to be cluttered. I know the things the stuff told me. Hey, I spent too much money on that. You really should like this. I wish you fit into that. Notice those things. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Saucy Mary, how to deal with nostalgia clutter, sentimental clutter? Good question. Ask yourself, first of all, what story is it telling you? Is it telling you a good story or a bad story? How does that story make you feel? And I offer this. I don't keep anything that tells me a bad story. Why should I? I'm in control of curating my existing life, and I am in control of curating the evidence left of my life. So I don't keep anything that tells me a bad story. Life's too short to feel bad. And when you feel bad, you do bad. And when you feel better, you do better. Okay? And what I would offer too is, if you want to keep nostalgia clutter, I do this. So right down here, I think you can see if I'm pointing. Yeah, right down there, I have some square boxes. They're all pink now because I bought them. And every year, what I do is I have a little tiny box, a little flat box. And I start one at the beginning of the year and it's empty. And every time I get something that I feel like I want to save that tells me a good story about evidence, what I call it, like evidence of a life well lived, is I will put it in that box and I put the year on it. And then I have a shelf down the basement and I put it on there. Now that's how I deal with mine. And I know that one day it's not for anybody else, but it's for me. Of course, I'd like to show off about all the cool things I did, but it's reminding me of a good life I had. It's souvenirs and memories. It doesn't get in my way and it doesn't take up too much space because I have containerized it. I have said it will only take up this amount of space. Okay? So you can do this. All right? All right, here we go. Oops. What else do we have here? Okay. Nyla Dawn Newton. Here. So I read these, as I said. So I've been chatting for a while without introducing myself. Beth, Destination Decluttered, Decluttering Life Coach. I have a mailing list. I forgot to mention that. I'm always supposed to be I feel like I should tell you about this. I have a mailing list. And actually, you might want to get on my mailing list right now. I just thought of this because this is my last official TikTok live literally for over a week. This time next week is Thanksgiving. I'm going to be traveling. So I want to be fully in the zone. I want to be fully immersed and present in what I'm doing. I don't want to be distracting myself. So you know who's going to know when I'm going to do some TikTok lives? That's the people on my mailing list. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. There's even a button if you go to follow my TikTok page here, which I hope you do if you like what you're hearing, etc. There's a button there that says DestinationDecluttered.com/links. You can click on that and it takes you to a page with links of how to sign up for the mailing list, how to do a one-on-one consultation for coaching, where I am, other social medias. But I say the people on my mailing list, it's a free mailing list and they get all the good stuff first before everybody else. So yeah, they're going to know when I'm back. They're going to know when I'm doing TikTok lives. They're going to get first dibs on if you want one-on-one coaching with me. I work in 10 session packages. And hopping on the mailing list now means you're going to know when I'm back. Okay. But Nyla Dawn, I want to offer, when you said, I feel like I should have a garage sale or eBay the items, and then I never do. I would love for you to just play with this concept. Okay. I was not an English major, but I love playing with words. I think it's fun because the words that we use have power. What I would offer to you is think about this. How about, I think I should have a garage sale, and then I never do because there's a certain part of your nervous system that doesn't feel like it. If you felt like you should have a garage sale or you felt like you wanted to have a garage sale, you'd do it. So notice that you are thinking you should do it. I should probably just sell this stuff. It's worth some money. I should do this. I should do that. Yeah, that's from the neck up. That's your mind. But unless your mind is in cahoots with your brain, with your heart, nothing from the neck down is going to happen. The hands are not going to move to price things, to write the things, to do the items, to take the action. Only certain things can happen up here. Nothing happens when your heart isn't in it. Or you push yourself and boy, are you going to not have a good time when you do it. Okay? Yeah, dear mama, you're not alone. All of us are not alone. You guys, this is why I do this. We have a wonderful community that always pops up whenever I do a TikTok live. Good folks, we're all helping each other out. All sorts of good things. Okay? What if there is something you want, really want? Tell me what you want, what you really, really want, Josephine Arroyo. What if there is something you really want but don't use it but really want it? Have a conversation with yourself about that. Why do you really want it? I don't know. I'm not judgy. I really, 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 really try hard not to be judgy. But I just say with curiosity, what is this thing that you really, really want, but you know you're not going to use? What does it represent to you? What does it symbolize? Notice there's a story behind the thing. Okay. Lindy, what about the will need eventually, like an outfit for a funeral, an event, or short notice? Okay. How about that? You have you get 2 outfits. Here's my event outfit. Here's a funeral outfit. Boom, you're done. Quality versus quantity. Look at the quantities of items you have. The funny thing is, too, with clothing especially, the more you have, the more effort it's taking to pull an outfit together, because you have to go through all the stuff you have and make decisions. And I don't know about you, but let me tell you, decision fatigue is a real thing. I like to make what I do so simple so I preserve my energy and I don't drain myself by making decisions all over and over again. Okay? User 1963 says, I was an English major, Beth, and I still have clutter. Yeah, I just love playing with the words. I do. I love kind of, crossing them out, trying other ones. What's the opposite of this? It's a fun way. I would not be doing this if it was not fun. I wouldn't. I'd be doing something else. I make it fun for you. I try to anyway, because I just show up as my goofy ass self. And because I'm not a robot, I am not AI. I'm a real human being. And I know what it's like to be a real human being that struggles here with the feelings, motorboat, with the feelings that make you feel like you can't do the things you want to do, or you're afraid to do the things you want to do. I used to be like that, and of course it still comes up because I'm a human and I will be till the day I die. And then probably I'll be a human too. I'll just be decomposing. But when you have tools in your toolkit to say, oh, I know what to do when I'm feeling this way. I can overcome the overwhelm. I can chunk it down. I can calm down my backseat drivers. The 3 major tools that I teach you when we do one-on-one coaching, when it feels so good, says Chuck Mangione, it feels so good when you know that if something comes up, you can handle it. It just gives you peace of mind and peace of nervous system. Okay? There we go. This is how I roll. So, dear mama, thank you for thinking I'm amazing. I show up like this because I know that there's clutter out there. And especially this time of year, I will say this. I'm going to kind of pull the lens back a little bit. November and December are 2 months that are different than any of the others, at least here in the United States. Because we've got from Halloween to Thanksgiving is kind of, we're pretending like it's like the rest of the day. But this week on, completely different animal. We've got Thanksgiving next week, and then we've got, strangely enough, we've got a few more days of November, and then we've got December and a couple of things, and then we've got, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, New Year's. Then you've got the New Year, New Year's Eve. How do you want to start your new year? Looking down the road. How did this year go? Are you less cluttered than when you were at the beginning of the year? Do you want to be? Notice that. You can do something about it. This is why I show up, and I show up all the time, except when I don't, when I go off the digital grid, which will be next week. So don't worry. What I will say is this. If you just found me and you're like, hey, I like this. I do TikTok lives often. I try to do one at least once an evening because I'm on the East Coast. I'm in Pennsylvania. And that's not only to get folks from the East Coast when you're coming home from work or you're just kind of chilling out. If you're like me, you're kind of, scrolling on ye olde TikTok, but also if you're in another time zone and this is a little bit more amenable to you. The people who are going to know when I'm back, and also if I do a TikTok pop-up, maybe this weekend, I don't know, maybe, are going to be the people on the mailing list. It's free, it's easy. I don't do it to sell you anything. I will say this, it is the number one way to get the best access to me and one-on-one coaching, which I do. So just notice that. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for Princess of a King 7. I was just about to say that, but I love that you mentioned it too. They can watch YouTube while you're gone. Yeah, so I download my TikTok lives and upload them to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. And again, I have been told by many people that they really love to put them on in the background, and there's a vibe about it. I speak to you from an area of possibility and knowing you can do this. This is not rocket science. This is not brain surgery. This is not something so overwhelming. This is just a bunch of stuff in your home, items that came from a store, that came from a factory. Sure, maybe somebody handmade them, but you got a bunch of stuff that's just literally and metaphorically getting in your way of living a life you love, of having your home look and feel and function like you want it to, of getting in the way of you feeling like you want to feel more than how you feel that way now. Okay? Oh, Mommy Salami is saying, thought you were in Mass. I was in Mass for like the first 30 plus years of my life. That's why you hear it coming out in my voice. I have lived in the mid-Atlantic since I met my musician husband back in 98. And I moved in the year 2000. So yeah, so you hear it coming out when I'm tired, if I've been drinking, if I'm talking to my sister, and also just some weird words, just the way I pronounce them. So yeah. Okay. No more clutter. One of my daughters has moved back, had certain things as storage now at the house. Yeah. Oh, things change all the time, don't they? Thank you for saying you speak logically on a level we can relate to. I really appreciate you letting me know that, because here's what I will say to you is what I found when I was saying I need help with what I'm struggling with, and I looked into like the self-help sphere. Boy, were there a lot of people using a lot of fancy words that I had to sit there and translate. Now, I am no dumb bunny. I have a college degree, I'm wicked smart, and I read a lot. But sometimes it's like, did you realize there's a simpler word there's a simpler way to explain that? And sometimes I think people use highfalutin words to make it sound like it's difficult. No, this is what I say. Think of it like a road trip. Everybody, we are all, and I'm pointing because I'm getting emphatic. I don't mean to, point at you. We are all in the driver's seat of the car called our life. Our car called our life is on a road trip. It started when we were born. It's going to end when we die. But in the meantime, if you are not where you want to be on that journey, you can stop at any time and realize what's not working for you and say, where do I want to be? Okay? Where do I want to be? And then you can start doing the things every day to get yourself closer to that. Anytime you get stuck, this is what worked for me. This is why I do this. This is why I call my coaching Destination Decluttered. And I've got this little dotted line between map points. I kind of forgot this. I meant to make this heart better. Somebody thought it was all folded over. It's supposed to look like a heart. I'm going to make an orange one. I trust when I get back from Thanksgiving, I'll change it. But think about, what would you do in this situation if you were in your car? It's as simple as that. If you hit a dead end, would you just be like, oh, guess that's it. I bet I have to build a house now at this dead end. Or you ran out of gas, or you got exhausted. I guess that's it. I'm just going to stop. You might be encouraged to do that when you're not excited about where you're going. But if you're going someplace you're excited to get to, you're going to turn that car around. You're going to be like, oops, dead end, no big deal. Backing it up, getting on the road. Take the drama out of it. Don't make it any more difficult than you have to be. It is not as difficult as it has to be. At the end of the day, it is making decisions, practicing that, deciding what you want in your life and what you don't, and changing your habits. Yes, actually, bunnies aren't dumb. I totally get that. Yes, I do it. Yeah. And user 1963, thank you for saying that I am, Beth, you are helpful but not judgmental. Completely. Kind words with an easy flow and useful wisdom nuggets. I love that. And this is what I say, is I never responded well to somebody yelling at me or being like this. You have to do it. And I just noticed I look like alfalfa here. So that did not get the result I wanted. Externally or internally, when somebody yells at me, I cry. Or I might have before. I probably still will. But also, they don't get what they want from me when they yell at me. So how about this? How about trying a different way? Speaking to the people you manage, with love and respect and curiosity and problem solving and collaboration. Like if you were a boss. I've been bosses all my life, and while my sister says I'm the bossy one, I beg to differ. I think somebody else is the bossy one now, but I'm just saying. What I want to say is treat yourself kindly on the inside, and you're going to be more likely to do the things that you want to do and have to do. Okay? Car smarts. See, there's my Boston accent. Okay? Do you work in homes locally? We are close. I actually don't work in homes at all. This is the beauty of what I do, and this is why I so love how I coach, and I want to share this with you, is because I only work on Zoom with you, because I don't need to be in your home. It actually would do you a disservice as I was in your home, because you would think that I was going to do something with the stuff. What I do is I show you, I teach you a method, a process, a system, a simple system that you practice using, so that it's like, instead of me driving you everywhere or doing it for you like Uber, I teach you how to drive, and to drive to you getting decluttered. And the wonderful thing is, I would not be doing this if it was just about clutter, but the way I teach you how to think about things, how to problem solve, how to take action when you're stuck, how to get unstuck and get going, is copy and pasteable, is lather, rinse, repeatable in so many different areas of your life, not just in clutter. And it has nothing to do with me being in your home with you. What it has to do is discovering what your thoughts are and what your habits are, interrupting the ones that don't work and redirecting them so you create new neural pathways, and being there to encourage and help you to show up for yourself while you're learning this new skill, just like a driver's ed teacher. You know, think about that. Yeah. There's already enough, as Nyla just said, there is already plenty of shame and unhelpful feeling that keeps you stuck and not changing associated with the clutter. Why would I want to make it worse? Duh. A die, as we used to say as little kids. Okay. So just notice that. All right. Yeah. All right. Gosh, I've only got 4 minutes left. So here's what I would love to just leave you with. You've got this. There are plenty of things you know how to do and you can do. And I always want to say, because this is how I sign off my coaching with my one-on-one clients, between now and the next time we see each other, what you can do to get your surface clutter in order, to get your your surface, your stored and sentimental. You can work on that. I highly recommend starting with surface and then going to stored. Sentimental takes a bit of practice, but concentrate on the stuff you know how to do. Get curious about it. Here's the simple formula I would love to leave you with. It's so simple that you're going to remember. What is this thing? I'm always trying to pick up a thing. How about this? What is this thing? What is this thing? Do I want it? Decision. If I want it, where does it go? If I don't want it, where does it go? Lather, rinse, repeat. Lather, rinse, repeat. And if it doesn't have a place, we help you find a place. If you do want it, if you don't want it, if you're not sure, especially the not sure stuff, that's when we get into coaching and I just ask you questions. I help you just listen to yourself. Have a better understanding of what is keeping you holding on to the stuff that you don't want. Fear, basically. And what is going to allow you to release the things that just ain't doing it for you anymore, and stop the habits of bringing in stuff that just brings you down anyway. That would be love. Fear on one side, love on the other. Fear shuts you down. It makes you cling on to it. And love gets you curious and opens you up to possibility and allows you to let go what just doesn't even matter. And here's what I will leave you with is, was it Molly Hatchet or 38 Special? Hold on loosely. I can't believe I just put that song in my head. But seriously, when you're holding on to stuff tightly, why are you clinging so tightly? You're going to lose control? I don't know about that, but notice the stuff you're clinging on to and you're having a really hard time with. And don't judge yourself. Don't shame yourself. Just get curious and say, what's up with that? What's up with that? Why do you want to hang on to it? Are you afraid you're going to get in trouble if you let go of it? Are you afraid? Basically my thing is you're afraid you're going to get in trouble. You're afraid you're going to feel pain. You're going to fear that there is harm coming to you. And this is an ingrained human, like, I don't even say biological, I feel like electrical nervous system thing is trying to protect your physical and mental, all yourself. You're trying to protect yourself from harm. And sometimes you do that without understanding that without examining the why of you're hanging on to it, you could be just causing more, not necessarily harm, but just unpleasantness. Okay? So notice that. Just notice it. Notice what you do that's getting you cluttered. Interrupt it and try something different. Change your habits. Okay? Change your habits just like Elvis and was it Mary Tyler Moore? Change of habit. Okay? Princess of a King says, I have loaded stuff going to recycling tomorrow in piles that won't come back while listening. See, there's a power in when I show up, basically, I show up to calm down your backseat drivers who tell you to go where they want to go. And I want to coax out and encourage your internal coach, your internal voice, your internal co-pilot who when they are given the chance, when the backseat drivers have been calmed down, they're like, finally, I have been waiting to talk to you. Just tell me, where do you want to go? Anywhere you want to go, I can help you get there. And that's how I show up. I show up as an external representation of your internal co-pilot on the road trip called life. I can't drive you to where you want to go to, but when you're behind the driver's seat and you're in the driver's seat and you want to go somewhere, you tell me where, boy, I can help you get there, but you're always the one doing the driving. And I want you to drive at a pace that feels right to you. All right. Mommy Salami says, I got the power. Bump, bump, bump. Love it. I love it. TT Mama says, have taken 2 loads to Salvation Army and 2 loads to the dump. More to go soon. Baby steps. Love it. You guys, if you can do me a favor before, because I won't be around for a while. First of all, as I said, if you want to hear from me first before anybody else, the Destination Decluttered mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com/join. You get an automatic email. I see a bunch of people have already signed up. The more, the merrier. We have a great time. We do a monthly free Zoom call. I do some free workshops about decluttering your mind and your schedule. I call it breeze blocking because I love Palm Springs. I'm about to book a trip there soon. What else? I do one-on-one coaching right now. Actually, I don't even have any coaching consultations on my calendar because I'm going away. But the first people who are going to know about it are the people on the mailing list. I will tell you this about the coaching because I like to be really clear and upfront and transparent. I charge money for my coaching. It is, I feel it's such a wonderful value, but my rates will be increasing with the next year. It's going to start on January 1st. So if the money thing has kind of got you like, know that you could save some shekels by signing up now. Even if you don't start till the next year, if you sign up now, you are grandmothered in at the current rate. Next year and for subsequent months or whatever, my rates will often increase. So I just wanted to let you know that. When I come back from Thanksgiving is when I will open up my consultations again. And I know that it's a crazy time of year, but just knowing that you have something to look forward to, somebody on your side, somebody there with you who knows, I've been on this road before, and now I've got freaking, what's his name? Brian Adams going through my head. Trust me, I can do wonders with this Gen X brain. Okay. There we go. I need mind decluttering brain spins. Okay. Slow down the spin and reverse it. Okay. No. Yeah. Now we can all panic about Thanksgiving. No, you don't. Here's what you do. User 1963. I did a video today that's pinned to the top of my, or it's the one that's at the top of my TikTok page. And it basically says, what are you stressed out about by Thanksgiving? Put whatever it is in the comments and then I can respond to it doing a video. That's most likely what I will be doing in the next many days or so. Okay. Yes, I want to shave shekels. Yes, and I didn't even know shekels were a real thing until recently. I thought it was an old-timey type of money. So just notice that. Yeah, every time I emptied a box of junk last week, my sister and I yelled, freedom! There you go. And now I've got George Michael going through my head. Do you see why I married a musician? I have a musical brain, but it has fun. And I will say that. Okay, I am going to sign off now because it's pretty much not past my bedtime, but it's past the time I said I was going to be on there. Again, sign up for my mailing list. Like my, if you can follow my TikTok page, that'd be great. Also, if you know people, if you start hearing people complaining about clutter and you think my approach would help them, please spread the word. Especially, how about this, when you're at the Christmas, when you're surrounded by people at Thanksgiving and people are freaking out about stuff, let them know there's help. Okay? Everybody, thank you so much. All these things. I will see you soon. And yes, have a wonderful holiday. Maybe I'll see you this weekend. I'll see you on the TikToks and I'll see you on the flip-flop. Okay? Bye-bye.